And welcome back to my vlog. Essays on the Constitution of the United States. Paul Leicester Ford, Part 5. Cassius 4, Part 1. This was an extra long one. The Massachusetts Gazette, number 385, Friday, November 23rd, 1787. For the Massachusetts Gazette. Anarchy, with her haggard cheeks and extended jaws, stands ready, and all allow that unless some efficient form of government is adopted, she will soon swallow us. The opposers to the plan of government lately agreed upon by the Federal Convention have not spared their censures upon it. They have stigmatized it with every odious appellation that can be named, but amidst all their railing, have not so much as hinted at a form of government that would be proper for us to adopt. And even if they had, it would have remained for us to examine whether they were men of more honesty, greater abilities, and firmer patriots and friends to their country than the members of the late convention, and whether the form of government which they might propose was better adapted to our situation and circumstances, and freer from imperfections than the one which has already been proposed to us. But it is not the intention of the opposers to the plan of federal government, founded on firm and truly Republican principles, as, in that case, their aims would be entirely defeated, as it would put it out of their power to stir up sedition and discontent, and they would be lost in obscurity, or move in a most contemptible sphere. I have before hinted that the opposers of the plan of federal government are composed of knaves, harpies, and debtors, and I trust it will soon appear what I have said is not a bare assertion only, but a matter of fact. I shall now proceed to make a few remarks on the conclusion of Vox Populi's, or rather Vox Insania's, production, which appeared in last Friday's paper. Vox Populi requests the inhabitants of Massachusetts, quote, to pay that attention to the federal Constitution which the importance of its nature demands, end quote, and informs them that they have hazarded their lives and fortunes, by the way, a wonderful piece of news, to establish a government founded on the principles of genuine civil liberty, etc. I join with him in his request, and am confident if that attention which is requisite is paid to the proposed plan of federal government, that it will meet with the hearty approbation of every well-wisher to the freedom and happiness of his country. It is true that the inhabitants of America have hazarded their lives and fortunes to establish a free and efficient government. But will Vox Populi, that moonlight prophet, pretend to say that such a government is at present established? Vox Populi goes on to inform us that, by adopting the new plan of government, we shall make inroads on the Constitution of this state, which he seems to think will be sacrilegious. His narrow and contracted ideas, his weak, absurd, and contemptible arguments discover him to be possessed of a mind clouded with the gloom of ignorance and thick with the grossest absurdity. Strange it is that the babbler should suppose it unjustifiable for the people to alter or amend, or even entirely abolish, what they themselves have established. But, says Vox Populi, perhaps the new plan will not have the same number to approbate it that the Constitution of this state had. Perhaps Vox Populi will be hung for high treason. There is, in my opinion, as much probability in the latter, perhaps, as in the former. Pray, Mr. Vox Populi, if I may be so bold, what reason have you to judge that there will not be so many for adopting the Constitution proposed by the Convention as there were for adopting the Constitution of this state some years ago? Do you suppose the inhabitants of Massachusetts have depreciated in their understanding? Or do you suppose that the sublimity of your jargon has blinded them with respect to their best interests? If you suppose the former, I think you have not been much conversant with them of late, or that your intellects are something defective. If you suppose the latter, in my opinion, you are no better than a downright fool. We'll see if there's more name-calling in part 2 tomorrow. Make it a great day, and bye for now.